In this day and age, it feels like nothing is affordable, especially a house. With average sales price trending around $1 million in towns like Johns Creek or Milton, where it's currently over $2 million. Yes, you heard that right, $2 million. It might feel like it's impossible to find an affordable home in the Northeast Metro Atlanta area. Hi, I'm Sarah Maslowski with KeyPoint Homes Group, a local real estate agent right here in the North Metro Atlanta area, helping clients just like you relocate all over here to Georgia. Currently, the average sales price of a home in the greater Atlanta area is $517,000. But in many areas, it feels like it's difficult to find a nice home at this price point, and even more difficult to find one below this price. So where are the affordable areas in the Northeast Metro Atlanta area, and what do you need to be looking for? The first place you can find an affordable house is Lawrenceville, located in Gwinnett County. I actually made a whole video about Lawrenceville recently, and at the time of filming this video, there were over 500 single-family homes for sale in Lawrenceville, and only 4% of those 500 homes were over $1 million. This is a huge amount of inventory with a much more affordable price point than many of the other towns in Gwinnett County. Many of Lawrenceville's homes are older. They're built in the 1970s and 80s, and they have a lot of really large homes, like 5 or 6 bedroom houses with basements. Many of them need some updates, but it's a great place to buy a home in a more affordable price point. Put in some elbow grease into it and see a great return on that investment. There is a major lack of new construction homes since this area is so largely developed, so you gotta keep that in mind if that's what you're after. Currently, the average sales price of a house in Lawrenceville is just $421,000. One of the great things about Lawrenceville, which will be quite different from some of the other towns that we're going to talk about today, is the location if you need to frequently access the city. In my opinion, Lawrenceville feels like it's a very commercialized area. It sits right off Interstate 85, and plus you have State Route 316, Highway 29, and Highway 20, so it's definitely a heavily traveled area, and you start to get that busier city feeling and like you are getting closer to the city of Atlanta and leaving the more suburban feel that you have in neighboring towns like Beaufort or Grayson. This great location and tons of highways make it a great place for commuters to the city who are okay with a longer drive to have a much more affordable home. So Lawrenceville is heavily commercialized, so there is no shortage of shopping centers, grocery stores, and things to do here. Okay, so these next two towns are some of the most affordable in the area while having some of the highest rated schools. And these are the towns of Loganville and Grayson in Gwinnett County. Currently, the average sales price in Grayson is $459,000 and $417,000 in Loganville, which is the most affordable town that we are going to talk about today. These are the two of the few towns where you can say, I want a 5-bedroom home on a basement with a good sized lot and a great school for under $500,000. If you need a lot of square footage and are open to making some cosmetic updates, both of these towns are going to be great options for you. A lot of the homes here are older, but there are some very large new construction neighborhoods here, which gives you quite a few options. Most of the elementary, middle, and high schools here all have a 6 and up rating on greatschools.org. Grayson High School has an 8 out of 10 rating on Great Schools, and there are parts of Loganville, Lawrenceville, and Grayson that are all distributed to go to that high school. Loganville High School also has an 8 out of 10 rating. These are some of the highest ranked schools you can find with a budget this low. Both of these towns are about 36 miles from the city of Atlanta, so you could feasibly commute to the city from them if you needed to. There's plenty of great shopping in both of these towns, and you actually have more new construction options here than you would in Lawrenceville. And honestly, these two towns are highly underrated. Very affordable, great schools, plenty of amenities. What more could you need? The next place you can find an affordable home is in the town of Braselton, which is actually located in 4 different counties: Barrow, Hall, Gwinnett, and Jackson County, and it's uniquely shaped in 3 different chunks. The biggest chunk is located along I-85 and Highway 53. Then you have another chunk along Highway 211, and then the third chunk that combines Beaufort and Flowery Branch at the west end of town. This means that really wherever you end up in Braselton, you're going to have convenient access to I-85, which quickly will take you into Atlanta. Now, on a light traffic day, you could get there in under an hour, but you typically see a commute time over an hour. I would budget for up to an hour and a half. One of Braselton's biggest draws is its strong sense of community with frequent local events like outdoor movie nights and the Braselton Antique and Artisan Festival that happens in the downtown area just about once a month. There are some great independently owned restaurants and a mix of good dining options in the downtown area. And the rest of Braselton is full of great chain options as well. The town has experienced some significant growth with new residential developments and a range of medical facilities, including a branch of the Northeast Georgia Medical Center, which is a very big employer for the area, and it's really great for both young families and retirees, both of which you're going to find a lot of in this area. There's also quite a few new construction communities going on in Braselton, and currently the average sales price is $510,000. While Braselton lacks extensive grocery store options, you are going to find these in nearby towns that Braselton sits very close to, although the town does have your staples like a Publix and a Kroger. Like I mentioned earlier, retirees are a big fan of Braselton, not just because of the hospital being so close, but because there are several 55 plus communities in the area, pretty much across the street from one another and right down the road from that hospital. You're not going to have stores like Target and Home Goods in Braselton. You're going to have to head over to Buford or Flowery Branch for these, so that's something to keep in mind, but those are both a pretty quick drive away. Next on the list of towns with affordable housing is the town of Jefferson, which is located in Jackson County. Now, Jefferson is quite a bit of ways from Atlanta. You are about 60 miles northeast of the city. So if you need to travel there frequently, it's going to take you an hour and a half depending upon traffic and maybe even more. Jefferson has an adorable little downtown area where you can find some cool small businesses and restaurants and appreciate the charm. Jefferson City Schools are also highly rated on both greatschools.org and niche.com, and some of the best over in this area. There is definitely a shortage of shopping and restaurants here in Jefferson, but I anticipate more growth making its way here. You're not going to find things like a Walmart or a Target in Jefferson, and obviously not a mall or anything like that. But you are very close to the town of Athens, which is only a 20 to 30 minute drive away, which has really great shopping and some amazing restaurants. You're also really close to a town called Commerce, which has a Tanger Outlets, so you have access to a ton of stores that a lot of the bigger towns around here don't even have. You're also going to have to head into Commerce, Braselton, or Houston, or somewhere else for more restaurant options. There is definitely not a ton to choose from in Jefferson. The average sales price of a home in Jefferson is $510,000. There are a lot of new construction options in Jefferson, and the town has seen a lot of growth in recent years. I think we're going to continue to see more development make its way to this area. There's a new Publix and a Chick-fil-A here. Plus, you also have an Aldi and a Kroger grocery store right across the street from each other. Give it a few more years, and I think we will see a Target come to this area. There is not one in any of the surrounding towns beside the one that's located in Athens, and I feel like this would be a great area to put one in. They should call me up and I'll let them know where to put it. There is plenty of undeveloped land here for it. The last town that we're going to talk about where you can find an affordable house is the town of Flowery Branch, which is located in Hall County. This is definitely one of the smallest towns we have talked about today, but it has a great location. Flowery Branch sits right in between Buford and Gainesville, right off of 985. So you'd have easy access to the interstate if you need to travel down to the city or any other town off of 85. Some areas like Flowery Branch sit on Lake Lanier, so you will obviously have some higher price point homes here, but this is a small portion of the town, so you won't have a ton of options of lake houses here. Currently, the average sales price in Flowery Branch is $520,000. There is a good mix of older resale homes and new construction options in Flowery Branch, so plenty of options here to choose from, and there are quite a few more affordable new construction options here. You're gonna find mostly chain stores and restaurants, and like I mentioned, the town sits right in between Gainesville and Buford, which makes it really easy and quick to head into either of these towns for more options. So the great thing about Flowery Branch is that it has a Target, Home Depot, and a Home Goods and Publix right off of the exit off of 985, all right there together. So you don't have to go very far for your everyday essentials. Downtown Flowery Branch, although small, it is full of charm and hosts a ton of seasonal events like farmers markets, block parties, and holiday festivals, and they have some great locally owned restaurants as well. There are quite a few new industrial developments, including logistics centers and warehouses, which kind of takes away from a little bit of the small town charm, but it brings some great job opportunities to the area. So because Flowery Branch sits right there on Lake Lanier, there are 2 marinas in Flowery Branch. You have Safe Harbor Aqualand and Safe Harbor Hideaway Bay. So you can have public access to the lake if you have a boat, or if you want to have a great marina to store your boat, you have 2 really great options. And what's really cool is that both of these marinas have a really great restaurant where you can sit there and enjoy a nice meal overlooking the water. You may be asking yourself, Sarah, you mentioned affordable towns, but all of these towns that you mentioned were close to that $500,000 price point. And while that is true, these are towns where you can find affordable homes that don't need a ton of work, a little bit more move-in ready. So if you're looking at listings in the Metro Atlanta area and you're trying to find some combination to get you into a little bit more affordable price point, but you want a better house, these are the towns that I would look in. So do any of these towns sound like something that you would be interested in? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you are thinking about making a move here to Georgia, I want to be your real estate agent. You can reach me by clicking the link in the pinned comment below this video. If you're interested in learning more about the different towns here in the Northeast Metro Atlanta area, make sure you check out these videos next.